with me in the studio, I want to go to my guests now because we've got a chock-a-block hour. This Saturday, hundreds of walkers are going to step out in Wythenshawe Park. It's the March for Men. It's in aid of Prostate Cancer UK. 5,000 of us get diagnosed every year here, just in the northwest. There's 1,000 men dying from the disease, and over 19,000 living with that and on and beyond. The event is all about raising money and awareness. Martin Wells is with me now. Martin was diagnosed in 2007, going to be walking the march. He's with me in the studio. I'm going to be speaking to Sophie Smith on the line in a minute or two. Sophie's a prostate cancer specialist nurse. Martin, good morning.
Mike, good morning. Good to see you.
Right, well, tell me first of all how you found out you had prostate cancer.
It was out of the blue, actually. For years, I'd had hemorrhoids, and one day I thought, I think I need to get my hemorrhoids sorted. And I kind of went, why am I thinking that? They've kind of not presented a problem before. So I went along to my GP, and he had a look, and he said, you've got some serious hemorrhoids there, Martin. I'll get you booked in and get them grommeted. And unbeknownst to me at the time, obviously his finger was up there, and he must have felt my prostate. Luckily, he was an ex-urologist, and he found some lumps, which I didn't know when he did it. Took some blood, which I thought was for cholesterol, and then 2 days later he called me back in, and as soon as I walked in I said, I bet it's my prostate, isn't it? And he said, yeah, your PSA is raised and I found some lumps, and the rest is history.
Well, it's not history, because it could have killed you.
Well, if I hadn't listened to my body saying, get into the GP, I wouldn't be talking to you now, I'm sure.
How do you feel that you've survived something like that?
It's been a really powerful, interesting, up and down...
Interesting? That's a great word.
Yeah, interesting. When I officially got diagnosed after all the tests, I'm into a bit of personal growth stuff, probably like you are. And when they said, you've got prostate cancer, Martin, for about 10 seconds, I thought, wow, I wonder how this is going to help me push through stuff I wouldn't normally push through to learn new stuff. And then after that 10 seconds, I went into the Kubler-Ross, oh my God, I'm going to die, and all that stuff kicked in.
You didn't. What treatment did you have, and how did they sort that out for you?
With all the tests at that time, the health professionals said a radical prostatectomy would be the thing to have.
Which is what?
So radical actually means total removal, and I had a retropubic prostatectomy. It's a bit technical, but it was a full cut from underneath my navel to the top of my willy, like a 9-inch cut. Open you up, Martin, we'll take it out. If you wake up and you haven't got a catheter, we will have sewn you back up because it would have spread, etc., and it didn't. I woke up, catheter in. Anyway, 3 months later, PSA was still raised. Sorry, Martin, with the best intent, I think it's spread. So we're going to have to give you 5 weeks of radiotherapy and 2.5 years of hormone suppression therapy, which is taking my testosterone out for 2.5 years. So unfortunately, 3 or 4 months ago, my PSA is starting to rise again. So the little buggers have woken up.
And what do you do now with that?
Health professionals will monitor my PSA, see what's called the velocity, see how fast it's rising, then see where the prostate cancer is. So even though I've not got a prostate, I've still got prostate cancer, which is like...
Okay, can I bring Sophie Smith in? Sophie's a prostate cancer specialist nurse. Sophie, good morning.
Good morning.
How typical is Martin's situation?
Well, I mean, prostate cancer affects, a lot of men across the UK or across the world. His story of kind of not going to the GP with any particular symptom is very common. Prostate cancer rarely does cause any symptoms, so it's often that kind of random check of something not related that you end up finding out that you have got prostate cancer.
The actual the investigation. I mean, we all know that what it entails, and what it is doctor puts his finger up your bottom, and there's no other way of describing that. That alone is, to be honest, it's quite off-putting. Do you think maybe it does put people off from going and having, a regular test?
Sure, it is something that men, of course, who wants to go to the doctors and have that sort of thing done. But it's only one part of the investigation process. It's also a blood test, and it's pieces of a jigsaw together when we're looking at whether or not a man has prostate cancer or not. So it's such a quick test that can be done to give such good information that can save your life.
And you're going to be on the march?
I am.
For you, as working in this as a professional, what do you think we need to do, men, to get tested more often and to find ourselves at least in a situation where we know where we stand with this?
Sure, well, come and join the march, that's one thing. The march is on Sunday, and it's, we've already got hundreds of people signed up. It's at 10 o'clock at Wythenshawe Park. Coming along to the march, it's not only about raising the money that we so desperately need to improve men's life with prostate cancer, to stop men dying of prostate cancer. It's actually really about raising that awareness, men knowing their risk, men knowing whether or not it's something to see a GP about, talking to other men that have been through this process, who can kind of say, do you know what, it's not that scary. And kind of like Martin said, actually it's been a positive experience, although obviously with not great outcomes sometimes.
Okay, thanks. Sophie Smith is a prostate cancer UK specialist nurse. Sophie's going to be on the March for Men at the weekend. And just, if I can get back to you, Martin, what would your advice be to the average bloke, including me, that's in that risk area?
It's interesting, Mike, when we were off the air and I was asking you about, where you come from, what you do, whatever, and you told me that your knee's playing up and you don't like it. One thing I've seen over the last 10 years is being a man. I think this is so important. Being a man gets in the way of being a man with prostate cancer. Because, could I take about half a minute to explain a little thing? If you and I were out there in the jungle and we were rutting rhinos, and there's a harem of female rhinos, and I'm top of the tree, and that's my harem of rhinos, and you're trying to knock me off the top because you want those females. I go into hospital overnight, rhino hospital, have my prostate taken out. I don't come out in the morning and go, hi lads, I've had my prostate taken out. I don't advertise that to other males. And I think it's built into our DNA as men not to share that information. So you've got to push through that.
Well, I'm going to take your advice and do so. I check my PSA levels and have an actual check, which we're going to do on air at some point, by the way, in the future. And I'd be a liar if I said I was looking forward to it. Can I wish you all the best for the future, all the best for the match, but all the best for the future for your health?
Thanks, Mike.
No, and thank you for coming in as well.
BBC Radio Manchester. Travel update.